Good. Well, I want to say welcome to everybody to another After the Show. Welcome.
Welcome.
We are back. So before we get too talky into it, let me actually tell you what's on the card for today's show. So we have, as usual, we're going to talk a little bit about where the season is right now and what you guys are going through and what teams will go through. We're also going to go into a very big portion of the show today, which is in case you missed it, because in studio, live today,
I get to interview a judge.
Not just a judge, a world's judge.
Mm-hmm. And Jason gets to sit back and relax.
I'm going to
take
go
a
work
break.
that board. Oh, I'm going to go have a nice little soda or a soda pop or just a pop, depending on what region you're watching this in. But yeah, I mean, she was on. Her name's Kyle Schmidt. She's the scoring director of CheerMatch, but also has scored with varsity. She scored with just about everything. She does international. She was out of country for a little while helping. She's done scoring seminars. Anyway, so we have all of that today, and I really am interested to see when I take my break to get a cheerleader, especially level 6, 7 team cheerleader, on a couch with a judge and see what in the world comes of that. I disagree. Well, that's too bad. That's the way you scored. Have you heard that before?
Yeah.
Okay, see, that's what I thought. So let's get started with kind of where we are in the season first. It's been a little bit.
It has.
You sat down and you're like, oh my gosh.
It was before Christmas when we did the last one.
Right, because I mean, you take the holidays off, you have to.
Obviously.
And I mean, I don't think there were really any competitions between the holidays.
No, they're definitely at like the end of January and there's like a build up for that, but everyone kind of can take a little break for Christmas and the holidays.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice.
Yeah.
Because I would have to imagine it's like you have to travel for these things, so it's like, wow, traveling during the holidays for a competition.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
No, you get a nice little break, which is very rare in cheer because no one gets breaks.
No, that's what I've heard.
I know.
Like just when you're like, oh, I'm done, it's like time to train, learn a routine.
It's year round. Get a few
But you
breaks
like
here
that?
and there. Yeah,
Yeah.
I do. Well, and I think there's something so special about it because you're with these people all the time, all year long. It's not like you have an off season when you're not with them. So that's what creates like super special relationships in cheer.
I would agree. Yeah, because I will say this, I played football, I played basketball, I played baseball, and I ran track. We say soccer, but I didn't get
really all around.
I tried it. Or I just stunk at all of them, and I just kept trying new stuff, trying to find out what I was good at. So
Stop embarrassing yourself with the same
Coach is
people.
like this. I'm like, another sport? It's like, another sport. But that was the thing, is like the sport done, and then you'd have to go find another league, like a summer league or a travel league. But with you guys, you're at the gym. That's it.
Yep.
Everybody's had a chance to compete once, twice. If you compete with CheerMatch, maybe 3 times.
Yep.
And the score sheets, I'm sure, are coming back, right? And do you guys get to know kind of score sheets or stuff like that?
Yeah, I think normally for at least the teams that I have been on, the coaches kind of go over the score sheets with you either like after day 1 they'll kind of go over things with you if there's like little things you can improve on, or like the next practice back after the competition. But I think when you start getting these score sheets back from the competitions, it really reflects how well your team or your routine is doing at the competitions, right?
Right.
And so there might be some parts that are going so well, but then when in your staying tumbling or your pyramid, it's like not scoring very well with difficulty or creativity or whatever that is. And so that's when you kind of go back to the drawing board and you have to like restructure those, or it could even just be you were hit really hard on your execution and you have to just clean things up, or you have to add in more difficulty. But after having some of that feedback from a few competitions, it's just making your routine stronger and more consistent.
Kind of streamlining everything.
Yep.
So with the category match, like I said, we're actually going to jump into Cue It.
Okay, so welcome back, everyone. Jason is gone, and now we have Kyle here. And I just was wondering, like, how was the show when you filmed it? Like, what did you think about it?
You know what? It was so different than I was expecting. The studio is absolutely fantastic, and it's like there were so many lights and so many cameras, and I'm like so nervous I'm gonna mess up what I was saying. But the hosts, they were so fun, and I felt like they were so welcoming. And so it was just, I had a blast. I absolutely loved it.
Yeah, they're amazing. I interviewed Nate last show, and he's like just so welcoming, and all the hosts are amazing.
It's really cool.
So I was wondering, how did you get into cheerleading? What like introduced you, and how did you become a judge?
So I started cheerleading when I was in 5th grade. So not as quite as young as some of our amazing viewers, but it was quite some time ago. And I just like I think you and everyone else, I just absolutely fell in love with the sport. And
Yeah.
I stayed into it. I got into coaching because I just wanted to like do more, if that makes any sense. Like I just wanted to be in the gym as much as I could.
Yeah.
So I started coaching when I was about 16, and then I became a program director, and I stayed coaching. And then I actually was in law school, and during law school it became like really hard
Yeah.
to balance my coaching schedule and stuff. Like, you know, you're in the gym all
Totally.
the time. And I just happened to meet Allison Ditko, who is the vice president of CheerMatch, and she was in the judging world, and she basically just saw something in me and was like, can I get you up on a judging panel and see how you do? And the rest is just history. It's been
Wow.
awesome, yeah.
That's amazing. Another question that I have, I mean, athletes and judges don't really get to talk to each other. It's kind of the coach in between. But what is like your favorite skill to judge, or like your favorite skill to see executed?
Oh, that is a really good question. So my background is in building. So
Yeah.
I am a stunts and pyramid and toss judge. And it's really, really funny. Some of the best things, the most favorite things that I love to see is like a really beautiful kick double basket.
yes.
Like it's just so, it never gets old. You know
Nope.
what I mean? And I really love the teams that try to think out of the box when it comes to their pyramids. I don't know
Totally.
about you, but like in your practices, do you sometimes feel like you stunt a lot more than you do a pyramid?
Yep.
So we notice it as judges too.
Totally.
Yeah, and so like the teams that go out there and they work really hard on their pyramid and their pyramid just blows you away, I love to see that.
Yeah, well, it's something just so unique about the routine because everyone is together, and like those kind of skills you can't do in just like an elite stunt sequence. And so in a pyramid, some of the coolest skills are at the end of the routine in the pyramid.
It's my favorite. And so many teams, like I just appreciate the people who spend as much time on their pyramid than they do their stunts, you know?
Yeah.
So.
Okay. And then what if you could pick out like one routine that you've ever judged, what has been your favorite routine you've watched?
Oh my goodness. That is a huge question. So every single year, I feel like there are different teams in different divisions that really stand out and bring it.
Yeah.
And it's really funny. The Lady Suns, I absolutely love the way you guys
Yeah.
tumble.
Thank you.
So that one routine where and remind me, because I never know years or anything like that. So remind me, it was the year that you guys did all of those doubles to the front, like at a ripple. That year.
Yeah.
I loved that year. And then we had actually a team that was just in our last match, Top Gun Large Co-ed, their routine last year.
Yeah.
I just remember just being so impressed with the skill. But we, from all levels, from levels 1 all the way up through 7, we just see so many fantastic routines. And you guys as athletes, you work so hard. And so I get to appreciate it, and I'm so thankful for that.
Totally. And I feel like the category match, kind of building off of what you said, like every team excels really well at one thing, and a team could be amazing at everything, but I don't feel like one team, like I feel like there's multiple teams that excel in different parts of the routine, and so I feel like it's hard to just pick one team. Because there are so amazing different parts from different teams.
It's so hard to pick one team, and it's so hard to even pick like one team you really love their stunt sequence, and then one team you absolutely love their dance. They have like the most fun dance. But that's really cool. That's why we as judges, we get a partner. So like you and I would judge stunts together, and you would do difficulty and I would do execution. And then we'd have 2 tumbling judges too, and then we'd have 1 overall judge. So it's all of us collaborating together on our own categories, and then just kind of like who can get the most points in every single one. But that's why we all work together. That's why it's not, you know, one person deciding the winner and all of that, because it's like, what in the world would I base that off of?
It helps like with like not being as subjective, you know, multiple opinions.
Exactly.
And then if there was one piece of advice you could give like athletes from a judge's perspective on how to score like the best in your routine.
I would say that it is a team sport, which means that all of you guys have to work together. However, you as that athlete, you go out there and you have to do a jump sequence, you have to do tumbling passes, you have to be a base or a back spot or a flyer. So what I would say is that you should own every single aspect of every skill that you do in your routine, and you should try and do that with the best possible technique possible. And that is going to help you contribute to your team. And then also at the end of the day, I don't know if you know or if you feel this way too, but the best times that I used to compete was when I like lifted up my teammates and my teammates lifted up me, and just like working together. That type of camaraderie and that leadership, like you know your teammates have your back, those were always my best performances.
Yeah, and I feel like throughout the entire competition day, even with CheerMatch, like you know that you're gonna do well from right when you like meet your team, through warm-ups, through backstage when you're super nervous, and then once you go out on the mat. And I feel like when you have that like teamwork and that like, I don't know, that bond with your team, it's some of the best parts of the whole competition, you know?
Yep.
And when you walk off the mat and you know that you did your absolute best, or it might not even been your best day, but you're still with your team and you have each other, that's like one of the best like takeaways you can have from a competition.
It really is. And I will tell you that we see that even though we're 100 feet away and 6 feet on a platform, like those teams that go out there and they pour their heart and their soul into each other, especially if you overcome things in adversity, like having an injury or something happens, the music skips, like you can tell when the team really pulls together and you just go for it. And that's just the best and most rewarding thing to see ever, because I remember what that was like as an athlete.
So Jason, would you like to come back in? I think your break's over.
I
You
think
can
so too.
ask
You know,
Kyle some questions.
I'm going to do this. You guys got to watch the board since I'm back. Oh, that's right.
Okay.
Oh, that's right. It's back to the action.
He has too much fun with that thing.
I do. I should put something else up instead of that, because
Yeah,
that's
he
a
has
little.
too much control over the show now.
Now I can't find anything. No, there it is. Okay, so we'll go with yes. Okay. So actually, wonderful interview. That was really.
Thank you.
I'm afraid that they're going to ask Kyle to come in and start hosting the show instead of me, because that was really good. I really enjoyed it. No, and something actually I heard off camera, that's something we actually talked about, Kyle, you and I talked about yesterday, was judging and how it goes, because I'm really interested in what you see. But you said there's something new that's being done to help people get into judging.
Yeah, so CheerMatch is starting a program called The Starting Line. And basically what we're doing is we are training people who have knowledge of the sport but just don't even know where to start.
Yeah.
They want to judge, they want to learn how to do it, but it's really complicated, and there's a lot of things that you need to look for and learn how to do. And so we want to help kind of bring that next new wave of judges on. So we're starting something called The Starting Line, and it's just going to be, we're going to start with 5 building judges, 5 tumbling judges, 5 overall, and 5 safety and deduction. And we are going to kind of take you all under our wing, so be on the lookout for some more information about that soon.
Say, are we allowed to post some information on Instagram and stuff like that?
I think we will be, yeah.
Okay, so keep an eye out on social media. And in case you missed the broadcast, what we're going to show you what the judges do, even though it was very impressive to me. Kyle actually broke down the building portion. It was building, right, with CJA?
That was overall.
It was overall. She broke down the overall of a team. So in case you missed it, we're going to take a look at her breaking down, in a judge way, this team.
The bombshells.
Earlier, I'd love to just kind of walk you through a little bit of what our judges see.
Yeah, we love that. Let's check it out.
So right off the bat, you'll notice that they have excellent use of the floor as they are performing those tumbling skills. There's a really great visual transition off to the right side that catches your eye. And that tumbling through that's coming from the front, it's really showcasing precision and spacing. That's so important in routine composition. Every athlete here is moving with purpose and intent. That means that they have the same pathway every single time they transition, and that really makes it seamless. And notice as these athletes are performing their running tumbling section, you have the basket toss that's in the back, and then a really nice paper doll, again, keeping that visual appeal to everything. And then as we have another really great seamless transition into their building section, we have a really innovative and intricate lift that as they begin to build their skills. So that's just kind of a little bit of a sneak peek into what our judges see.
I still say it's very impressive. Just how fast you see.
She was speaking at the pace of the routine,
Right.
which is super impressive.
Right. That's what I mean. I was like, I missed everything. How did your understanding grow? Because you were a cheerleader, as you've said, then you actually coached for a while too, and then judge. How did your understanding of, I don't want to say the rubric, but understanding of judging or what they look for grow as you moved from one to another?
Well, I started way back when, before there were levels. We used to be beginner, intermediate, and advanced. anyone who's watching will know. But I started as an athlete where it was like, I love doing this sport and my coaches are telling me what to do, so I'm going to listen to my coaches. But then when you became a coach and you actually saw, oh, this is why my coach told me to land with my feet together. Oh, that's why my coach told me that I need to step into my base when I'm stunting. That was like a whole different perspective, because now I'm a coach and I can watch what's going on. And then taking it one step further, now I'm a judge and I don't know what the team is about to do and I know what I have to look for. Now I understand the sport so much more, and now I understand what bad technique looks like, what good technique looks like, what's more difficult, what's not, because now I'm looking at it with completely different viewpoints. So it's really 3 different viewpoints.
Yeah. And have you found that, because someone is starting to coach now?
Yes, I have. Well, I mean, the girls that I'm coaching, they're very young. So don't have quite the technique that like older athletes have. But I also think having my injury and kind of stepping out of an athlete role and watching the practices and giving advice to my teammates, you see it from a completely different perspective, like you said. Because when you're in it, you don't see the overall picture.
Yep.
You know, like you're doing the routine, you don't know how it looks live. But being able to step out of that and actually watch, and you're like, oh, you know, I've done that skill. I know what you need to do there. So watching it from that perspective, it's like completely different.
It really is. And I always said that being a coach, because I also cheered while I was older in life, and so being a coach made me a better cheerleader, and then being a judge made me a better coach. Because I knew what those judges were looking for, or I knew what you next year when you go to cheer, you know what your coaches are looking for, and so you have a better understanding as to why you have to do something, for sure.
Well, guys, that does it for our show. Please tune in once again to East vs. West. If you didn't know, you can actually go back and view the entire category match still at CheerMatch.com. So viewing or fast forwarding to your team anytime you'd like. You can also catch Kyle on the category match doing all the breakdowns. We actually want to mention the other scoring judge that was on the program as well.
Adam Dennison. He's part of our scoring team. He's amazing. He's the tumbling guru. So you'll get to listen to him break down difficulty and execution.
Right. He did a really great job. And with that, anything else, ladies, you'd like to say before we tune out?
Just thank you for listening and watching.
I tune out a lot. All right, guys. Have a great one. We'll see you later. Bye.
And with that, let's take a look. Nope. Let's take a look at the level. So you know it's the. I got it.
So let's kick it off with, I don't even know, sorry guys. Level 1. I was rehearsing in my head when you said it and I wasn't ready. Yeah. Okay.